What's up, guys? My name is Destiny and I'm a licensed speech language pathologist, which is also known as an SLP. I take videos on the internet and analyze them and give my perspective as an SLP as to what's going on in the video. So football season is here and everyone's so excited, ready to go, ready to see their favorite team hit the field. I have to be honest, as an SLP, I was so intrigued by this guy as soon as I heard him speak. This guy used to be the head coach at LSU. His name is Ed Orgeron. I think I'm saying that correctly. I'll never forget the first time I heard him speak. I was obsessed with his voice and trying to figure out what was going on. I'm sure I'm not alone. So I picked this video because he's giving a press conference. So he's obviously going to be speaking. And this one was pretty funny. They highlighted it a couple of years back because he was yelling at the players. So let's take a look at the video.
John Emery, another great young man from Destrehan, Louisiana. Hold on a second. Hey, guys. Hey, I'm having a press conference, okay? Thank you. Great young man. On a scrimmage, we wanted to get bigger. I'm stopping. Hey, stop the ball, stop the drill. I'm having a press.
I didn't know they did press conferences right in the same room as the players practicing. Is that normal? Someone let me know. I don't know if that's normal.
Press conference. Thank you. We had to fix the line of scrimmage. Went all the way to Michigan.
All right, so I've spent a lot of time listening to him, watching videos in the past, just because it was so interesting at the time. I don't know where he coaches now or if he coaches, so I'm curious to know how his voice is doing. But Ed definitely has some sort of voice issue, if not a voice disorder. I'm hesitant to call it a disorder because I don't know what his actual diagnosis is. It's easier when I'm working with like cartoons and things because they're not real people, but I want to be careful when I'm talking about someone who's actually alive and living and like functioning right now in our society, because I don't want to be offensive. But my guess is that he has some sort of voice issue that is brought on by his job, likely. You see this type of issue in people who speak a lot. So you might notice it in like pastors or teachers, singers, coaches, people who do a lot of speaking, and people who have to stretch their voice beyond what it's typically capable of doing. So a voice disorder is one that has to do with the throat, the vocal cords, pretty much this area of the body. Like it can also include the upper throat, the nose. We call it a voice or resonance issue, and it basically has to do with something going wrong in this vocal tract that is causing someone to sound a little weird. So with Ed, he seems to be having trouble with his actual vocal cords. The way that I kind of analyze voice issues is to kind of try to close my eyes and imagine what I would have to do to my voice to make it sound like that. An ENT or an otolaryngologist may be able to take a look at his throat with an actual camera, but if he were to walk into my speech office and just based off of the tools that I have, I would have to visualize it somehow without that tool in front of me. So if I close my eyes and I listen to him, it sounds like he's really slamming his vocal cords together in order to speak. It sounds very hoarse, very gritty almost, and that sounds like he has probably vocal nodules. These happen when you continuously slam your vocal cords together. You have two vocal cords and they kind of look like this when you're breathing. They're like a V shape and they stay kind of open. When you talk, they close on themselves. They vibrate together and that creates your voice. If you're constantly yelling or screaming or talking, the vocal cords kind of slam together, and over time you'll notice little knots form on the insides of the vocal cord. They're not always along the full edge, but they'll be in little spots, and those are called vocal nodules. They usually happen from overuse or abuse of the vocal cords, and they end up making your voice sound gritty, harsh. This is on top of the fact that he already has a pretty heavy manly voice. So he probably has these really thick vocal cords that also have nodules on top of them, and that's what gives him that voice. So I am not a voice expert. There are definitely those out there. Voice disorders are not as common as some of the other disorders that I've talked about in the past, but something that I would automatically do is to tell that person, like Ed, to rest. The best way to help any overuse or abuse voice issue is to rest the vocal cords. If he has vocal nodules specifically, the rest is probably not going to fix the problem alone, but it may help a little bit. So that would be the first thing, is rest. The second thing I would probably do is to try and change his habits. So he is a coach. We know he's going to have to be talking a lot. We would probably try to minimize the amount of yelling he's doing and the amount of speaking he's doing overall. We would change the way he habitually speaks. Something else that he would probably have to do is go to an ENT. He would probably have to go to a specialist in this area to probably get the vocal nodules removed if they don't go away on their own. They're kind of like calluses. So think about if you have a callus on your foot, you would have to kind of like shave it down. You would have to do something to it to get rid of it. All right, that does it for this video. If you like what you saw, definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can see more content like this.